So I've been looking for a new bench vise. Not a new one, an old one. A bench vise from a time when tools were made to last. They were made with quality. My 5-inch bench vise, I've had it for years, but she's got issues. I don't like it. She's got to go. So I picked up this Columbian 604 off Facebook Marketplace. And this thing, guys, I love the look of this thing. I love the patina. I love the battle scars. You know, from the looks of it, based on the little bits of black paint and just the look of this thing, I think it's from like the 40s, maybe the 50s, something like that. Guys, if you know more about these vices, let me know. I'm curious. I really want to know. But from my research, I think it's from like the 40s or 50s. But let me bring you in here closer so we can get a good look at this thing. This thing is really, really nice. So yeah, guys, this thing runs really, really well. I mean, she squeaks a little on the way out. That can be fixed. Like I said, the patina on this thing is just great. And all these scars, they really tell a story, and I really like that. This thing is tight. I mean, look at that. There is no play in the main shaft going into the body. Forgive me, guys, I'm not sure of all the terminology. I think I have a blown up diagram of these things, which I'll try to include here if I can find it. But yeah, guys, this thing is just made really, really well. You can see the rods there. They're a little beat up, they're bent. You know, same with the main handle. She's got a couple of whoops in her, but you know what? It's character. It tells a story. I absolutely love this thing. Fell in love with it as soon as I saw it. Knew I had to have it. So here's my plan. I just want to clean this thing up. I don't want to, you know, completely sand it down and paint it. You know, I've seen people use like Bondo on these things and get them really smooth. I don't want that. I like the old look of this thing. I really like the patina, but I know a lot of that's gonna probably come off as I clean this thing up, but I really want to try to get rid of some of the old paint off it, maybe clean that up. I'm gonna blow it completely apart. I want to get the inside all cleaned out. If there's anything in there, any, you know, rust on the inside, anything like that. I'm thinking clean it up, wire wheel it, whatever I gotta do, maybe get the paint off, like I said, just clean it up. And then I might try to maybe like oil it. I need to find a way that I can maintain this look. I may try to find replacement jaws. I was kind of poking around a little bit over the past couple days. I know they're kind of really hard to find. And look at this thing. I can get to some of the pins that retain these jaws, because these jaws are like a T-shaped, and they have like retaining pins that come in from the bottom. I'll try to show those better as we tear it apart. But yeah, that's my plan for this. I don't want to paint it. I don't want it to look new. I want it to look old. I just want to refurb it so it can last another, 80 years? So yeah, let's blow this thing apart. So the first thing I want to do is I think I want to remove the swivel base, remove the base plate. This will give me a good look on the inside. See what this thing looks like. So to do that, flip it over and you get to this opening here. Here you can see the lock mechanism, basically. And yeah, lefty tighty, righty loosey. Just kidding. Get that off. And now this should just pop right out the bottom. You can still see those serrations there that lock into the ring. Yeah, that's going to clean up nice. All right, I got to pop that bolt out of the bottom. Yeah, that thing was just in there, just finger tight, guys. Look at that. Clean those up on a wire wheel. There we go. The rust inside is that's just surface rust. That's going to clean up real nice. We'll clean that up, lube it up a little bit. I mean, look at that. Yeah, definitely could use a little lubrication in there. It's dry, but still really, Really good shape, guys. All right, so now I think the next step is we back out. I'm going to need that there because I didn't realize this was going to have like a little shaft on the bottom. So we just set that there. All right, and we'll take the shaft out. Now, mind you, I have never taken one of these apart before, so I'm learning. So don't yell at me too hard in the comments, you know. I'm curious to see how this all works. I'm trying to do this in a way that you guys can see what I'm doing, but I gotta move the handle off the edge of the bench, sorry. And I should probably clamp the back down, but I thought that just threads out like a one big screw, doesn't it? No. Nope, there we go. It's coming out. I feel it, it's loosening. There we go. See down in there? I mean, there's some crud. I feel like there's a pin here or something. I'm not sure how this is gonna come apart. I have to come back to that. I'll have to look that up. Definitely some years of crud down in there, but overall not too bad. Got to get the handle off. I know that there's a screw. Where is it? There it is. So right down in here, there's a little flathead screw, little set screw. So this should just come right out. Oh, she's in there good. Yeah, they need a little penetrating oil on that. We'll let that soak a bit, and then we'll come back. Toasty, toasty. So yeah, a little bit of heat, a little bit of drilling, a little bit of prying. I was able to get the collar here off of the main screw shaft, and that way I could remove this from the lower main beam there. So yeah, no big deal. I'll just re-drill the hole, re-tap it for another set screw. Won't be a problem. So now with that taken apart, oh, the base. Let me figure out how to get the piece out of the piece. Yeah. So yeah, here on the base where so this is where the screw shaft, the main shaft comes in here. The screw shaft screws into this. I want to get this out. This is just a lot of crud in here. And I was looking at this. Looks like it's pinned. There's like a little rod sticking up. And that came down here. Well, you can see it right there where that rod sticks out. So I just got a punch. A little big. Come in here. Knock that bad boy out of there. Should be down far enough. Maybe not. There's just a lot of crud in there that needs to be scraped out, but that should be out enough. Let's see. Yeah, I'll have to work on that a little bit. It's just crudded up in there, but that'll come out and I'll be able to clean up that whole thing.
The next day.
All right, so as you saw, I'm just kind of taking my time. I'm using some wire wheels on the grinder. I got some red and green Scotch-Brite pads. They said this isn't a restoration. This is like a refurbishment. You know, I'm just trying to clean it up. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna paint it. It's coming out really nice. You can see a lot of the surface rust is off of there all the way around. What I really thought was cool, and I kind of showed a close-up, hopefully it turned out good. You can still see a lot of like the machining marks on this thing when it was made. Like I said, I'm guessing in like the 40s or 50s. So 70, 80 years ago, you can still see some of those machining marks. The bottom side here, you saw I took down like a casting ridge on there. Just wanted to knock that down smooth. The bottom needs to be probably as smooth as possible since that's what it rides on in and out of the back jaw. So yeah, just been taking my time cleaning it up. I'm not really, like I said, I'm just using wire wheel. I don't want to sand it. I got a lot of the old paint off there. Still some more rust that needs to come off. I sprayed the inside down with some like rust penetrant, and that's only because there's a lot of surface rust on the inside. It's just a rough casting. I may spray the inside with like a rust converter paint maybe, just to kind of neutralize that. We'll see how ambitious I get. The back jaw, or the base, I was messing around with this a little bit, trying to see if I could figure out how the jaws are actually attached. And there, on the inside here, you can see there are 3 pins. Maybe you can see that. There's one there, one in the middle, one over here. I was messing around with them, took a punch to them, and I was able to get, there we go, 2 of them to start kind of poking out. The tops, obviously, were just ground smooth over the years. I couldn't even tell that there were actually, I wasn't sure if the pins went all the way through. I couldn't tell. I couldn't see them on the surface just because they were that smooth over just years of being worked. So those should be able to come out. I sprayed some rust penetrant on those. I should be able to get those pins out at some point if I decide to, if I can find jaws to replace those. But yeah, so I'm just, you know, this is how it's going. I'm just standing here with, you know, safety glasses, ear protection on, some earbuds, listening to music, and just cleaning this thing up. Let's keep going. So after beating on the back jaw for a while with a bunch of different punches and a little hand sledge here, I realized, why am I doing this the hard way? I mean, I've got a tool that'll make this job a whole lot easier. It's called an air hammer. And all I gotta do is find out where the pins are. I can make one out right there. Get that thing centered on there best I can. And yeah, I can at least start them and get those pins. This side's kind of hard. It's really chewed up. This is the front jaw. This is really beat up. But they'll come out. But on the back jaw, you can see I got them all started. I'm not going to pull them out right now. I just want to get them broken loose, basically. Spray some rust penetrant or some lubie down in there. And that way, once I do find jaws, they'll be easier to remove later. Air hammer for the win. So I got the front jaw cleaned up. I got the screw cleaned up, all the little bits and pieces. I still got to work on the actual base, but I want to work on the back jaw now. So what I picked up an attachment for my air hammer. It's a needle scaler. Rather than have to get a whole separate tool, a whole separate needle scaler, found an attachment for the air hammer. So I'm going to give this thing a try. I'll leave a link down below to it. So I want to try this thing out. And I got it so that on the back jaw, I can get up inside here. I can get down inside. Like I said, this area, it's got surface rust and that's it. It's not bad. But there's some caked on crud from, 80 years or however old it is. So I'm going to use that needle scaler to get down inside there, get all that cleaned out. Some of this caked on crud. Let me give that a try and see how it works. So let me get all set up here and I'll bring you guys in. So you saw that I used some of this Rust-Oleum rust reformer, and I used that on the inside, the back jaw, the front jaw, and inside of the base, anywhere where it's still a really rough casting. And I taped everything off so that I didn't get any of the rust reformer on any of the surfaces that kind of slide together. I didn't want that to gum up anything, mess anything up. So now I'm ready to start assembling. So I've got some of this ballast oil. It's just an all-purpose lubricant. And I've got it in a little needle applicator. I use this for like tool maintenance, ratchets and stuff like that. It's just a really precise way to apply the oil. So I'm going to apply a thin coat to basically all of the mating surfaces. So on the base, it's going to go on the outside, on all the rings where the back jaws slide. And then on the inside, on the rails where the front jaws slide. So basically it's going to be along the bottoms here, along the edges. And I think there's even a rail up on top that kind of mates to. I'm not going to apply it to the front jaws. I'm going to apply it inside of the back jaw. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything kind of lubed up and start reassembly. And there it is, guys. A 70, 80-year-old Columbian 604 Vise, refurbished. Again, I didn't want to smooth it out. I didn't want to paint it. I didn't want to do any of that. I like the look of this thing with all the little nicks and scratches and gouges, and I like that. It's character, tells a story. I did lube up the rails in the back jaws. I'm not sure if I showed that or not, but those did get a little bit of lube, a little bit of that ballastol. I did also leave the jaw pins recessed, just this way I know exactly where they are. They're still tight, definitely not loose at all. I did leave them a little recessed, that way when I eventually do find new jaws, it'll just make it that much easier to swap them out later. I already know where the pins are. They might get full of dirt and everything. If they do, I'll just clean them out. No big deal. But guys, yeah, this thing is butter smooth. No more squeak. The squeak is gone that was there. I did also lube the screw that goes through there. Not a lot, say just a little bit, just to kind of get all the threads lubed up. Just a light coat of that ballastol oil. But yeah, this thing is super smooth now, guys. I still got to drill 2 more mounting holes because the base is different than my last vise. Holes don't line up. No big deal. I got one of them lined up, so it is bolted down to the bench. 1 bolt, needs 2 more, but that'll get done. But yeah, there it is. Appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see you on the next one.